Hello, this is another update for the Go game engine. Over the weekend I built Android support, so now you can build your games for Android. I don't have the menu option inside of the engine to export to Android yet, but you can manually build it at the moment. The UI should only take a day or so to work out whenever I get some time for it. Alright, so I'll kind of show it off. So here we have a build script. Inside of our build and debug, you'll see build debug build Android. Uh, Basically, it creates a debug version, and so when you come in here, you can just run this by itself. It will do all the stuff it needs to do. I've added all the C code for Android, and it'll basically create your library file for your game project. And in this case, the game project is the editor. I don't intend on making the editor work on Android right now, but we'll see the editor running in Android just a little bit. So there we go. We have Android successful. So next we can hop over to the Android Studio project for this. You'll see that it is inside of, well, I guess I can show you here. If you look inside of the project source, go down to editor, there's a project templates Android folder. This is the folder you can open inside of Android Studio. This is in here inside of the editor folder because when you create your project and you want to configure an Android project inside the editor, it's essentially going to copy this and then fill in all the little string details to make it conform to your game. So that's what I have open here. This is that same folder. You'll notice that when we run the build inside of the JNI libs, right now I've only made ARM64 V8A. Making all the others is super trivial. I just haven't done it. I'll probably do it later tonight. But you'll see a lib kaiju underscore android.so here. This is the one that we just built. And then inside of the CPP files, you'll see that we have a lib kaiju underscore android.h. And our native Android basically just calls into our Go and makes it run. That's all it's doing. And then Go does the rest. And all the C stuff for Android is in Go inside of that project. And this is deprecated, this app dummy thing, but if I don't put it here, it doesn't work. So that's why it's here. That's why it's going to stay here. We'll build this project, so come over here, you just hit the build button, let it build. Okay, so rather than using an emulator, I'm just going to use my device. I'm recording the screen separately. I'll put it over here on the right-hand side. Now that we've built, we can go ahead and play. So if I hit play here, you'll see that it launches on the device. Now, one of the things we want to look at is the logging. You'll see that there's a Kaiju engine log, and then there's also a Kaiju engine log C, probably up here towards the top where the window is being constructed. We just look for Kaiju engine log. There we go. So there's also a log C, which is the C code printing out logs. So you'll notice that when the C code prints, it's just a normal Android log, and when we use slog inside of Go, we'll get the normal slog outputs, so you can parse that out how you'd like to. Okay, so inputs are working. I don't have a software keyboard in this one, but I can show you. I can tap on the text boxes here, and it'll select those text boxes to type stuff in. I have the software keyboard code already written. I just don't have it in this build, and I'll connect that up a little bit later. But a lot of games don't need software keyboards. You just want to play the game. So as far as that goes, you're good for that. This is a build of the editor. I don't intend, I said this before, but I have to repeat it because some people may jump around the video. I don't intend for the editor to be running on Android right now. I'll do that maybe in the future. Right now I just want to focus on getting games working on it and then building out the editor on desktop. It'll just magically work mostly on Android later. It might be kind of cool to edit your projects directly on your tablet. So for now, this is just a demo of running on Android. The entire editor runs within the engine. So if the editor is running on the Android, that means games will run on Android. Because the way that I've designed this, the editor is technically a game running in the engine. So that was touch input. You saw that I was able to select those. We can go ahead and check out the stylus input now. This is on a tablet, a folding device, so I opened it up, and so we'll relaunch it and check out the stylus. You can see as I hover over these buttons, the hover effect works, and as I tap on the input boxes, if my tapping is good enough, this is very tiny. There we go. We can get that text box to interact. So stylus is working as well as touch. So mouse is technically hooked up. I haven't tested it yet. Keyboard is not hooked up yet. I will hook that up sometime soon. But those two peripherals should be pretty easy. Now at the latter part of this video, we can take a quick look at how we have the Android code set up, where this is the only code that we need here inside of Android Studio, inside of the Android project, and all the other C code is off in our Golang. So let's check that out. Okay, so before jumping into the Go code, I kind of want to show how you'll be able to make Android builds soon, even though I haven't hooked it up yet. Just kind of the thought in that. Okay, so here inside the editor, what it is going to be like is you come in here, you build out your game, go to File. Just like we have Build and Run Game, we'll have Build Android. And this window is getting a little long in the tooth, so we may have just a build option here, the build ... which will pop up an overlay that allow you to select the platform and release mode and all that other jazz, which stages you want built in, that sort of stuff. So long term that's what will be, but for now, the next stage is just get a build Android in here and it'll build it. We can hook up deploying to Android a little later, but that's basically where it's going to be. So as far as the platform code, if you look at window.android.go, it's very similar to Win32, X11. A lot of these functions are filled out because there's no need for them, like setting cursor to setting cursors and all that sort of stuff. We have filled out opening websites, screen sizes, DPIs, all that kind of stuff is kind of filled up. Main meat and potatoes of this is the window poll and the create window. So those all call into the android.h, which we just have a few functions exposed here, and then we have all the code for Android itself in here. You'll see we're just importing the Android stuff. We've got our logging, some defines, general stuff, but you'll see the Android main down here. There's a lot of commented out stuff because I got some nice to have features to add in a little bit later, but here's the window main. This is where we construct our primary window. Then we have the poll, which goes and flushes the event queue and processes it off and go. And then some JNI interops here. And there will be more to come. I have stuff for opening files, opening soft keyboards, all that kind of stuff. I've got the code for that, just not in this project, but it will be here soon. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, you have any feedback, any thoughts, ideas, please feel free to join the Discord, join the mailing list, follow me on X. Some people know it as Twitter. And give me some feedback and keep encouraging me on. I've been working on this quite a bit for the last 3 weeks, every night for multiple hours. I got a day job and some I've got 2 kids, so finding time at night, your encouragement and excitement really helps me keep on pushing on. So come join the project. Feel free to make any pull requests or put up some issues or anything like that. Where are we going next? So now that we have Android build support pretty much done, you'll be able to click a button, build, run the game on Android. The next stage is going to be Mac. I know it's a little bit strange to not have the Mac support yet. I have Windows, Linux, and now Android. but I don't have a Mac, and I'm going to have to borrow somebody's Mac to debug on there. But for the most part, we've already built, my buddy and I, we've already built a Mac build of Vulkan with Molten VK before. It's pretty painless. There's a little bit of annoyances, but it's pretty painless. So just gotta get some time with him and his Mac to build Mac and make it run. So after we get Mac, we'll probably look at iOS at some point, and then after that will be WebAssembly. So that's the trajectory plan for platforms. They're all platforms we've worked with before when we've written our C engines, so it's nothing new, just work to be done. We do have some more stuff that we have to fill out inside of the editor. I want to fill out the settings window so you can set snapping settings. Snapping's actually already in the engine, but I want to add the snapping settings so that you can change and enable them and all of that. That'll be here in the settings tab. Hello settings. And so project settings, editor settings, all that stuff is going to be over here in this workspace. Another new thing that came in, I know this is a pretty big one. Wait till the end of the video to put this in. It's kind of silly. You can undo and redo now, so I can put this material on this rock, move it over, and be able to undo all of those actions, those selects, and hit breakpoints that I've set apparently. And so undos and redos are now, workspace selection is part of the undo redo system. It makes statefulness work out really well. Renames, you can set positions, 0.53 or 56 or whatever, and undo all of this stuff. So new undo system is actually pretty nice. It allows for transactions so that undos can stack into one undo, which is nice if you're wanting to call multiple things. Like if when you select an object and you delete it, delete the selection, right? You want to undo and you want to be able to select those and delete it at the same time. Just stuff like that. So inside of history.go, it's all documented, except for the last function. It's pretty obvious. I'll add a comment there anyways, but it's all pretty straightforward. We have a history on the editor, and then you basically would call add to add to the history. You add a memento. This is a a design pattern. So you add a memento, which is just some interface that has a redo, undo, delete, which is when you undo and then you overwrite. So you've undid, so you moved something, then you undid that move, and then you clicked on something else. Delete will be called for that memento saying it's been deleted, and then exit is when it runs out of the end of the list. So you pack in more and more undos. Eventually we can't have unlimited undos. I mean, some people can with how much RAM they have, but when it runs out of the history length and falls off of the history, that's when exit is called. So it's basically what the memento is. That's one of the few interfaces inside of the engine. And then we have transactions, so you can begin a transaction, have multiple, whenever add is called. So basically you begin a transaction, you call add. Whenever add is called, everything goes, if we're in a transaction, it gets packed into the transaction stack. And then you commit a transaction when you're done with it. So it's pretty simple. I mean, it's only most of this file is comments. It's a pretty simple system and it works really well. So feel free to check it out. We've got a lot more undos to add. So again, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for your encouragement. Please join the conversation in the community that we have. It's mostly just me talking at a bunch of people, but feel free to join and I guess be talked at. Cool. Thanks, guys. See you later.